Tantodefi here, and today I have a treat for you. I'm going to take a break from my usual speedrun content, and I am going to show you some work on an awesome DApp starter boilerplate. This code base is directly from the Luxo team, so I thought it'd be awesome to fork it, bring it down locally, and build something with it. Maybe catch some bugs if there are any, maybe take some notes and provide suggestions. And then you guys can also, if you don't know how to do all this, but you guys have ideas in the comments on the video, you can just jot them down and I will do my best to make those a reality. So yeah, it looks like this is a okay, let's open the docs. Sure, why not? I think it's built with React. Yeah, it uses the new Web3 onboard library. It's still using ethers.js, so that's cool, but I think VM is the new kid on the block. And yeah, npm run dev. I think it's just, yeah, it's a nextjs app. Okay, cool. So nextjs is a JavaScript framework built on React. It's very specific with how it all works. Anyways, I actually have already cloned this locally. So normally you would run this in a command, then you would type code .tools-dapp-boilerplate to open this in VS Code, then you'd install dependencies and run the dev. Also, excuse me for doing this terrible trick right here of just switching between windows, but I don't want to share my whole ultra-wide monitor with you guys, so this is how we're going to be working through this. So my code base is out of date. I'm gonna go ahead and sync changes that the team has made onto this project. So now I have a current version of the code base. I am going to want to run it now and see what it looks like, right? npm run dev. I probably maybe should have reinstalled actually. There we go. Right, in case the package is changed since the code base made some edits, you should always reinstall when you're pulling in commits. Okay, I do have some worries about whether this is going to be a production ready starter given the critical bugs here, and I just thought, like, you know, something to note later. I've tried running npm audit fix. I don't want to force it because that will probably introduce breaking changes. npm audit fix doesn't do nothing for these errors, which tells me that they are like not even necessarily in the direct imports of the package JSON. They're in the dependency tree of those packages themselves, which means this isn't the Luxo team, but this is maybe something we could do by hardening this code base, possibly as the community. If we can rally around a couple of devs to make sure that this is popping up with no criticals, that'd be amazing. I'm not going to debug that today. Let's just take a look at what this bad boy actually looks like and see if we can use this code base to speedrun development of something cool, something that, like, I think a lot of people are going to need. Also, the package does come with this like a dev container setup, which I am not overly familiar using. I mean, I understand the premise of what it is doing, but I'm just running the code locally, but feel free to use that. Oh, look at this. Localhost 3000. So this is our starter. This is what the code base gives you right now. Source app pages index.txx. Okay, so we know what our landing page is, right? Index.tss and the source app. Index.tsx. This is our landing page, if I'm not crazy. Right? We're looking for start your development by editing. Start your development by editing. We found the code for this page. Amazing. Okay. So this leaks. I'm just looking at the bottom left corner. This is to the docs. This is to the inspector. This is super cool. It's actually like a whole bunch of suite of tools for helping develop ERC 725s and like playing with like if you're really getting into weeds with the LSPs, this site right here is a must have. And I admit I'm a bit of a newbie playing with all of this. So I'm looking to hopefully make these videos, learn on the demand and on the fly with you guys, and hopefully some better devs are gonna actually want to join me in this series in the future, and we can do like some live code adapt in 1 hour, and we'll make some small little MVP project for the community, something that the community wants, and we'll record that, and that'll now be learning material in the future for the next dev who wants to come and get his hands dirty with the LSPs. So this is an amazing, valuable thing. There's the test app, test-dapp, lukso-tech. What is this doing? Oh, okay, I think this is the debugger. Yeah. This is the big old, like, you know, you're gonna debug a lot of basically every, like, this is the graphical user face for like the API of the LSPs. Basically, is another way of thinking about this. With some, this is on the test net, right? But we could rip this on mainnet maybe and figure out, that'd be interesting actually, having an interface like this to work with on mainnet for your application. I don't know if that's even possible. This is just, I'm just spitballing fast here, guys. There's the playground. Okay, so I'm going to cover the playground in a separate video, but this is basically like code snippets that are run server side. Hey, look, there I am, one of the contributors. So this is awesome because like on the back end, this is how you can run some like pure JS to just do some of these things: update a profile, transfer a token, transfer licks, the native gas token, detect the metadata, play with the key manager, detect if it's a universal profile by checking the interface, deploying an example hard hat contract, fetching a profile data, fetching an asset, extracting data from a profile, creating a profile programmatically, and some convenience helper functions with basically just log your local addresses, creates up with a EOA, and then basically logs balances of the tokens that you'll be running in the terminal. So there is so much raw potential in this repo to turn this into just like the back-end repo of Luxo. And if we get we kind of bring in a couple of different people, right? We need to kind of speak with creators and like what types of scripts and tools do you easily need? Like this could be an amazing community library of functioning scripts for the on-chain marketers, the data sleuths, the developers, anybody who's doing anything on Luxo. If you haven't played with this Luxo playground, and you know enough JavaScript to be dangerous, this is the repo for you. So this is amazing. We're not going to be playing with this today. I don't think we're going to do a deep dive in this, but I'm keeping this browser open. We should absolutely go through. This is an inspector, so check the keys of the data. Okay. Data fetcher, fetching data, key manager. Ooh, beautiful. Look at that. Super delegate, super static, static call, deploy. Just seeing what the raw responses for all of these variables look like and being able to play with them in a manner. This is so powerful. And like this, even this tool deserves its own entire video. And as I get more comfortable playing with this tool and developing in the Luxo ecosystem, building out a course curriculum that kind of speed runs any EVM developer into learning the LSPs and the ecosystem, this is like definitely on my agenda to learn. The ABI encoder, LSP2 encoder. Wow, you can go right to mainnet on that, like docs, GitHub. Like this is a banger of a tool. Amazing landing page, already giving you so much, right? Like, so there's a nav bar. Application framework was created using Next. Yeah, develop more links to the documentation. Okay, so now let's start paying attention to what the local links here. So this is just a link to the home page, this route here. Now there are other routes and pages. There's a components tab. Let's check out the components tab. All right, so there's some pre-built components. One is a connect network switcher. So let's try switching to testnet. Yep, that works. Okay, let's try connecting my extension. Ooh, which one do I want to do? Which one do I want to do? Let's do the universal profile first. Welcome back. It's been a while. Where are we at? Sorry, grabbing my password in the other from the manager there. Boom. Whoa. Uh-oh. on live. My profiles just disappeared. I am very scared right now. My universal profiles just were removed from my browser. There he is. Oh my god. thought I just lost my. Okay, we're gonna edit that out. But yeah, you guys were about to watch me just cry because I'm sure I've set my backup controller, but who wants to recover their? That's not what we want. Yeah, connect a profile. Let's. You know what? Tanto's got some. In case there's bugs here, we saw some critical. Let's not blow in with my main bag. Let's sign in with Upcard. Connected. Amazing. Wow, profile preview element works. Check that out, guys. It's loading my profile preview right there, pulling this information. This component is built. I don't have to reinvent the freaking wheel. This is an awesome starter. Let's get to contacts. Built-in context state. So you can use Ethereum within any page or component to globally manage the connected extension. Okay, so it still use Ethereum. Now, I also believe they've added a window.luxo, so I don't know even if this content is fully updated and accurate as of right now. I know that I was bugging them I asked Felix to help me to fix this. I had reported this as an issue. These contexts may actually be, they may be totally accurate and current, but they may also be a little bit different. Let's take a look at the code for source context, Ethereum context, TSX. Source context, Ethereum context. We can quickly check whether this code base is doing that new window.luxo, which is maybe not even a thing, but I heard that's a thing. Window.luxo to specifically target the Luxo, or window Ethereum to target a MetaMask fallback. Amazing. It's all in here, guys. It's new. We are on the bleeding edge. So I would actually trust that all of this is accurate now, given that I just found that the new window.luxo context is in there, which is amazing. They just coded it right into the same Ethereum context TypeScript file. And then there's you can import the use profile, use Ethereum, and use network. Okay, cool. So these are like these are just the main primitives that it was telling you to use back here in the components. Connect button is the one that's going to map to the provider for Ethereum, because the Ethereum provider controls MetaMask. You guys like my pink MetaMask extension? Don't ask how I got that pink-pilled Fox intern. Ask him for the alpha. But what was I saying? I got off track. So Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum provider, use context, that's controlling the browser window, the wallet's extensions, window.ethereum, window.luxo. You know which one those are. Then there's the profile provider of use profile, which if you go back to the components, this is the profile provider. It's going to provide me my profile data, use profile. And then there is the network provider, which is back to the network switcher, so use network. So these three map to these three. And why they weren't actually all on one page with the components and the associated context is maybe some feedback. But you could watch this video and just figure it out by listening to me talk. Utility, built-in utility tools. We've got an interface detection, so you can use the supports interface function to quickly check the interface IDs of LSP smart contracts you are interacting with. Well, that's amazing, because if you can check the interface and get a return, you are going to see what, like, an interface is kind of like an API, right? Like, it's kind of You know, it's the innie to your outie. I don't know what else to say. That's awesome. So like you can kind of, you'll be able to identify programmatically with this helper function how you can interact with a specific contract address, which can be very powerful. Metadata detection, you can use supports metadata to quickly check the data keys of LSP smart contracts you are interacting with. This is powerful. This is also what great helper utilities they have. Let's take a look at the implementations in the utils folder. Right down there, interface. Okay, it's using ethers and it's using the ABI from 165. Window.luxo, there it is, gangster. Fallbacks to window Ethereum. If it isn't, this is like the right way to do this for sure. Checks if it has a 165, supports the interface, string, provider. If not, nope. If yes, try this, await, check it, if error, log it, return. Okay. And then amazing, they added the IDs and like what you can below. So like very extendable helper function with an idea about how to write specific checks. Very, 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 very cool piece of code. Metadata. Probably going to be the same thing, but just for the data keys in the ERC725Ys, which, yeah, like supported schemas from these. So this is like everything to do with the core LSPs. I really need to start learning these off the head, right? Like the other day I was on a call and someone just kind of, I think he G-checked me quick. He was like, oh, which LSP is that? Is that 2? And I was like, it's one of them for sure. let me load up GitHub and check. Okay, cool. So how would we go about like getting messy with this, right? Like what are we going to build with this? Wow. Look at that. Like Web3 onboard is so dope, but we're not gonna, so for starters, right? We're not gonna shout out Block Native. They're great, but like we don't need a link to them from our repo. So let's go back to this because I just deleted it and I didn't even really pay attention to what it was because I'm an idiot. So let me refresh it. Let me find it. Let me get a tag and let me figure out how to. Interesting. It's not connected, right? Oh, I refreshed the tab and it lost my connection in locally. So there is no, but, and this is where I get confused and like would love some light on this from the team. I'm still connected, right? But there's no function that's like check if connection, or does the connection of being connected to the DApp isn't the same as, do you know what I mean? Like I noticed that it's always best practice to just check your connections when you're done leaving with something. Like, look, I'm connected to this starter repo for no reason right now. That's terrible. But like localhost, I'm going to reconnect, but this is a question I have for the team is how do you persist connection state between the extension and my starter repo or my DApp, right? Or is that just not how it works? And if you saw what I just did, I refreshed the pages and I lost connection to my host DApp, but it still says I'm connected to it here. So why? No, how do I solve that? Do I need to put cookies are dead? So how are we going to fix that UI? Because technically I should still be connected to this, right? Only when I connect the extension, go back, literally it'll make me do this all over again. Now it says I'm connected, yay. Now I can manage the connection down here, which is part of the Block Native Web3 onboard widget. That's where this UI down here comes from. So you might see this more commonly in 2024. This is like the preferred way that developers are now coding in. We used to use Rainbow Kit. We used to use Wallet Connect libraries. We used to use everything. Right now, the cool kid on the block is this Block Native Web3 onboard library. And I have questions about it, obviously, right? So for starters, I don't want to rep block native in my starter, it is telling me that this SVG that's nested within the Svelte AC container, no ID on the SVG, which is awesome. So how do we find it in the code base if there's no ID? Well, it's loading an SVG. It's either loading it locally or probably remotely. The whole thing would load remotely because it's a script that's pulling that in. It'd be in the Web3. Oh, it's the network switcher for the UI there. Utils, index, conf, page, profile. Web3 onboard. Where do you think the Web3 connect button? Menu, network switcher, profile preview. Those are the built-in Luxo components. There's no way it's an actual, like, you don't manually import that, right? It pulls from the script of the package. So I can target it with some custom JavaScript when the page loads and just delete it from rendering, which is like kind of overkill when you have to write a function to remove an element that a dependency is pulling in. But who cares? Okay, I'm being dumb. Like, we can shout out Block Native. They do good things, I guess. We don't need to edit them. Let's play with that though, actually. See, look at this bug right here. There's some I don't know if this is, look, I want to click this, but I can't. And you saw that bar that pops up. Why is it blocking? And then look, like, margin left 100 pixels. Nope. It's the wrong image, I think. It's the wrong, all of that's wrong. Wow. We're just showing how bad we are at coding in the, right here. Okay. But yeah, this is definitely a bug. That something is here. The SVG. There's an SVG that's blocking this. What are you? SVG fill height. Right? This is silliness now. What are you, my friend? And where do you come from? Now I can interact with it. So this is something that yeah. And look, let's like play. So mainnet switcher. And look, it pops up over here. The fuck is that? Let's fix that. That's a bug. So let's start taking screenshots, guys. This is how we make everything about Luxo better, is by catching these things and reporting them. That's going to open Block Native's website. Yeah, I don't personally like that that's there. I will write some, I'm just an SEO guy, right? So like you know, I'm not linking to you unless there's a reason to. And right now, you guys are awesome, but there's no reason to link to you in my future whatever I'm building here, which I still really haven't decided. And I guess we might not be building this video. We might just be exploring the code base and giving you guys up to speed on it. I can add account here. Can I? No, that button doesn't do anything. I can... There's errors in the console. Let's see. Oh, what? Image with... Okay. So I think that's this image profile is missing the... It's just a warning. Image with source. Yeah, it's just logging. Image with source. Failed to load. That's a font, right? .woof. So like we're missing. We're returning a 404 with a missing font. I could probably fix that in a PR later. Not important though. Yeah. So add account is busted, right? Luxo mainnet switcher pops up over there. How does that make any sense? Is that also like, let's just test this not in the inspect, because like sometimes I wonder if my, oh, it's that's behavior in so like when I inspect, I guess this turns into a tablet view now, and not, yeah, dimensions responsive, just barely the size of a tablet to create that bug. So in tablet, the styles and the drop down here, the breakpoints are fucked on the Web3 onboard widget or whatever for tablet views, which like I don't know how many people are going to be logging into dApps on tablets. I guess that's not really a primary device for Web3 activities. However, like, you know, when we catch things, we catch things. So I'm going to do something here, which is I'm going to pop out into a separate window my dev tools that you guys won't be able to see now, which is fine. And that way I can no longer need to, like, we need our shit to be full screen here, responsive full screen. Yeah, and then, all right, and then let's even, so remember that element that was SVG? I wonder if that only renders on the tablet, if that's like a Web3 onboard, like, broken breakpoint and not actually related to the Next.js Luxo-Dapp starter. Like, because I probably won't report that if it's not part of the actual code base that Luxo is responsible for, you know? And yeah, like, no, there's still an SVG that's going to flap up here, and look, I can't press this button. So something is clearly broken here, right? Like, I need to, why can't I access this account? This is on full page. So like, let's do what we did last time, right? And identify. Now we got that screenshot. So that's an actual bug that we're gonna report live on this video, because like I think like people should learn. You know, we might not all be like 10x coders in life, and that's totally fine. But there is no reason why you cannot learn to submit a bug report or an issue on a GitHub repo. And the sooner we have an army of 420 test stores on Luxo mainnet and testnet, the sooner we're going to be able to basically just, we're going to scale this whole community, and and people are going to want to build here if we have like active communities that are trying things, you know, recording their user journeys, creating tickets on the core starter Luxo repos. Like, this is what we need. We need people to build on this in this awesome ecosystem, or like, you know, the people aren't going to come if we don't build it. So like, call out to all the builders, please come learn about Luxo, come get involved. I am so very, very excited to build with you guys. It's just amazing what we're gonna do together. I just took a screenshot and I don't see my photo anywhere, which is terrifying. So dumb to be doing that. Okay, I'll do that later. Not trying to bore you guys, but anyways, we found that bug. So yay! Like, regardless of whose it is, it can't exist because it breaks the core functionality of this Web3 onboard thing. And that's also a weird, like, what's happening here? Because now this is on full screen, and does this only open when DevTools are open? I mean, yeah, this is still blocked when DevTools are closed, but this renders properly. I don't know what's happening anymore, guys. There's some things that we're gonna need to figure out. Okay, I do love this starter repo though for what it is right now. It's gonna be very convenient to pull this down and have these components all ready to go. I can already imagine a better layout where this is up top, this is up top. Maybe we don't really need two of these screens. I actually think all of this should and could be refactored into just one page, and like I would have these built-in context states, like make it a dual column and condense this over here, have the example of the component associated with the context provider in 2 column rows, and then at the bottom make it 1 column again and show the utility helpers. And then now, but I guess this is also like, this is just how you learn. If you don't know Next.js code base, like now you're going to figure out how to edit page by page, right? Like if I want to edit this page contexts, then I would go to pages, contexts, right? And I could do this myself. I could recreate the layout that I want to see on this project. So the most important thing I think is going to be the components page, and actually it's not really, it's really just moving these components into the other pages is what's of value, right? So like I'm gonna probably take a break here because this is good enough as an intro. This is gonna be one of a series because like I need to I want to make this as good as possible. However, the one thing we didn't do is we didn't report our bug yet, right? So let's go to the issues. There is one closed. Amazing. New issue. Title. So let's see. There's I just opened the screenshot of it. So SVG fill blocking the Web3 onboard component in bottom right corner after being connected. After connecting even, like, okay. Boom. So write a description. After connecting Universal Pro up extension with Web3 onboard library, what can we say? There is an SVG. There is an SVG that renders blocking the I don't know what to call this other than 3-dot menu, right? I'm sure a designer somewhere is gonna wish I was dead because I don't know the correct term for what these 3 dots here are called. That's not a hamburger menu, I know that. For blocking the 3-dot menu in the Web3 onboard widget. Right, and now we can do something amazing. We can just drop our screenshot in. Let's preview it. Okay, I mean, that looks cool. And then at the end we can say, maybe just like space there. I tried this on both desktop and tablet breakpoints, and same result. And I don't think there's any other information required. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this issue. Boom. After connecting up extension with Web3 onboard library, there is an SVG that renders blocking the 3-dot menu in the Web3 onboard widget. I tried this on both desktop and tablet breakpoints and same result. Okay, so guys, we just made our first issue in the lukso-dapp boilerplate. You guys got an amazing chance to take a look at it right here live. We speed ran through the code. We talked about ways to improve it, possibly. We really just made sure there was no bugs, but we tried to catch a bug live. So this has been an awesome time. Look forward to the follow-up where we actually, I'm gonna have a pre-idea about what I want to build with this code base. I'm gonna try to build something simple. I'm thinking like some form of a landing page for the inbound interest for new drops. Anybody wants to launch something new but doesn't have all of the contracts and code written, but is still like intending to like bring something production to the community. I think maybe like an idea I had was a connect with universal profile to display a landing page with maybe an email subscribe form, and maybe pull in the information from the user, and basically like a very good easy way to just tell them what they might be whitelisting for, or etc. Maybe not necessarily, maybe even a button to fire some transactions. We can start playing with some of the scripts I found in the Luxo playground and figure out how to map those functions to server-side functions within Next.js. I don't know if it uses Next.js 14 or not. Like, there's so many questions that I have, and hopefully I've provided a few answers to you guys. If you guys learned something, if you like this video, please subscribe and like it. I promise there will be more meaty, actual, like, you know, educational content coming around rather than me just forking down a repo and poking around and trying to find a bug in it. But I think actually, if you're just starting learning the LSPs, this is going to get you the habits towards when you're actually out there playing with the inspector and the sample, like the debugger and all of these other more advanced things about actually playing with the Luxo LSP primitives. But it starts with fucking like any other dApp, bro. You're just going to write git clone. You're going to pull the repo from GitHub. You're going to fire it up, run npm install, npm run dev, find a bug, create an issue. Don't submit a bunch of bullshit bugs. The devs are busy, but like they built this so that we would use it and we would build on top of like what they gave us. And I think nothing's going to make them feel better than having a bunch of people start to use the code that they've brought to production. And so, yeah, I've been Tantodefi. That's my name. You guys can catch me around Common Ground or the Discord or, you know, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. And yeah, I look forward to chatting with you guys soon. Come find me, Anil.